If your TikTok For You page was anything like mine, then you would have already seen the videos of Marathon Mum swerving past her kids to finish her race. If not, let me catch you up. Unfortunately, her impressive achievement was largely overshadowed by a controversial moment that took place right before the finish line. Last month, the TikTok account called Cinema Reporter shared a video of a woman identified as personal trainer Luciana Grandi Lourenço winning the Maia Maratona de Prudente in Portugal on the 5th of May. Unfortunately, her impressive achievement was largely overshadowed by a controversial moment that took place right before the finish line. In the video, a man presumed by viewers to be Lourenço's husband encourages two young children to run out to meet her before she crosses the finish line. Yes, you heard me right, before the actual finishing line. Lourenço, however, moves to dodge the little girls in favour of finishing the race. Meanwhile, the man in the background appears visibly confused as he corrals the children off the course. And from the looks of it, she was looking at her watch after she finishes, which means she must have been trying to beat her own record as well. After the race, she hugs a guy that also ran the marathon and came in second place. Here is the full video of the race. The video gained a lot of attention on TikTok, probably going over 12 million views. It went viral across all corners of the internet after X.com user Virginia Brash reshared the video to her account, accusing the man of intentionally using the children to derail his wife's success. However, we don't actually know if the man in the video is the runner's husband, since the reporter nor anyone else actually confirmed who the man was. But countless women and men assumed that the man is her husband. Mainly because during the TikTok video, as soon as the man lets his two children before the finish line, the child suddenly went to try and hug the woman. This may explain their assumption. For all the viewers cheering her on, there were also some critics accusing Lourenço of prioritizing herself over her children's feelings, to which I would say, good for her. The reason I say this is because the man should have waited to hug Lourenço after the race, like a normal person would. However, the man just suddenly decided to make sure the children hug right before the race, probably to make sure that the woman doesn't win. While no one should want those little girls to feel spurned, the fault for that rests completely on the man who set them, and Lourenço, up for failure. This was a lose-lose situation for the runner, who could either slow down and risk losing the race, or swerve around them and face the anger of countless internet mommy shamers. There were even comments under the original video that supports the woman more than the man. The comments were basically saying along the lines of, he's trying to remind her that him and the kids are all that matters, and no matter how much she accomplished, and I'm glad she chose herself. This even links to the video that I did earlier. Well, kind of. It was about Harrison Butker. For those that didn't watch my previous video, I'll just give you guys a brief summary. The Kansas City chief kicker Harrison Butker gave misogynistic commencement speech at Benedictine College, in which he told female graduates that they've been fed diabolical lies about modern gender roles and their place in the workforce. Here is a part of the speech.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. By making it to this moment through all the adversity thrown your way from COVID, I hope you learned the important lessons that suffering in this life is only temporary. As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We fear speaking truth because now, unfortunately, truth is in the minority. Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail. I am certain the reporters at the AP could not have imagined that their attempt to rebuke and embarrass places and people like those here at Benedictine wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride. Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him.
When it comes to Marathon Mum, many viewers saw Lorencau's actions as a powerful refusal to be reduced to one singular role. At the end of the day, if women can't rely on their partners to actively support their endeavours outside of motherhood, men should at least be expected not to stand in the way or send in their kids to do it for them. To sort of end the video, here are a few stitches to the original video explaining their thoughts on that situation.
This mother is very justified in her actions. In this situation, the husband did not think clearly through the intentions of his actions and the impact that it would have on the children and his wife. This dad thought he was going to be making a family memory by having the children be a part of the marathon victory, which I would argue is not safe. Like, the woman is running a marathon along with other competitors. Like, what if your kids this doesn't make sense. But maybe he wants the kids to be a part of the win, and so he sends the kids out. Being a mom is a very selfless job. God forbid that this mother wants to take her victory as she wins a marathon, and then that light gets taken away because the husband thinks it's a good idea to send the kids out right before she crosses the finish line. Because now this father has made the children feel rejected when he probably got their hopes up that they'll be part of mommy's great victory. And this is where fathers, men, give us a bad rep, because as adults, why are you not thinking through the consequences of your actions and the what ifs? You can't tell me that you really thought that your wife, if she was going to win this marathon, would stop and sacrifice this once in a lifetime opportunity to hug her kids. This is your opportunity as a husband to be a supporter and a model to these kids along the sidelines and support her and cheer her on in her victory. But now these kids are going to feel like they were rejected in one of their mom's biggest victories in their life. And what's crazy is that this dad is upset. Like, you can see he throws his arm up like, what? It baffles me how some men, how some fathers can't think through their actions and map out the differential outcomes that could occur, and then understand empathy by putting themselves in these other people's shoes, like why they did what they did. Yo, like, be so for real.
She hit them kids with that juke stick. But you know what? Good on her. That was her moment, and she deserved that. She trained for God knows how long, and she deserved every moment of that finish line to herself. And shame on the husband for not letting her have that moment, not realizing the work that she put in to get to that moment. And how much do you want to bet the very first thing that he said to her was how he had to babysit the kids all day, and she couldn't even stop to give them a hug? Gaslighting her, making her feel like she's a bad mom. The dude just had to wait 30 feet, and then they could have celebrated her. Instead, he had to try to take the moment from her. But she said, whoop, nope, this is mine. Good for you, honey.
Every single mother who has had to defend herself watched this video and got pissed off at that dad. How much do you want to bet that the first thing that that man said to his wife when he saw her was nothing encouraging, nothing positive about her winning this, Nothing in the room. It's going to be a completely selfish statement that goes along the lines of, didn't you see you ignored the kids? I pushed them out in front of a bunch of people running at their top speed and you just like ran around them and then you didn't stop. You didn't stop what you were doing. You didn't drop everything to pay attention to them. Woke gentlemen, please go talk to your boys. Holy crap. That man's going to get divorced and he's going to be the dude that's like, it came out of nowhere.
Let's be so fucking for real right now. If that was a man playing football with the homies, $500 was on the line and bragging rights also, and your baby mama, your wife got your 2 kids running out in the football field right when y'all about to do your finishing touchdown, you motherfuckers would be having a field day on social media talking about that right now. All that mom did was run around her kids and you niggas went ballistic. Why couldn't she hug her kids? Why in the middle of a fucking race? Her husband was her op. Because why would you, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, there was nobody else on the motherfucking racing track. Listen, the racing track is off limits to everybody who's not fucking running. That includes enthusiastic babies that want to greet their motherfucking mama. That father was being neglectful in that moment, just trying to hubble his wife. Non-runners should not be on the fucking track.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the gossip. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.